Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my world, or welcome to my world if it's your first time here. If you didn't guess already, my name is Lorrie, and this is my world. We're doing survival seeds today. We're doing a garden update, and not really a tour, but you'll see most of what's going on back there. It is the end of May, so up here in Canada, everybody should be done with their well, maybe not quite. Some areas might still have to wait till June, up in the more northern parts of the country. But most of us up here in Canada are able to put our plants outside, and so yeah, I'm hoping to see a whole bunch of survival seeds update videos this week from Canada. I need to go dig in and look for them after I finish doing my own video. Anyway, let's get to it. Thanks for being here. So I'm afraid I have some disappointing news about my tomato in my hydro setup. Now, I may have mentioned before, I have mentioned before, you may have heard it before, heard me mention it, that this I don't think is a dwarf tomato, although it was supposed to be a dwarf tomato. I got it from a company that has been notorious lately for mislabeling seeds and sending things, but you can see, like, look at it, it's just so loaded with tomatoes, but the poor little thing just can't hold them up. So I've got a couple of branches here that have just busted. So I'm going to cut some of these heavier things off, and I'd like to give some of these tomatoes a few more days to develop before I actually pull them off, because they're still really green. I guess I could make some salsa verde or something with them, but look how tiny some of those little babies are. Anyway, time to replant my lettuce. It was done for, and I'm gonna be clipping some stuff off of this. And I probably won't plant another tomato in it this year because there doesn't seem to be much point. I don't want to buy any more seeds this year because I can't take any of them with me. So, yeah, I won't be buying any seeds until we've gotten down to Oregon and I've had a chance to see where I have any sunshine. But yeah, as soon as we get down there, I can buy some micro dwarf tomato seeds and try this again. But for this time, kind of an epic failure. Well, maybe not an epic failure, but a mild failure. If you are familiar with Egyptian walking onions, then you can skip this part. But if you are not, I thought I'd come out and show you what happens with Egyptian walking onions and why they're considered a perennial onion. So you can see this is the bulb that happens. And I've got one here that's actually fallen right over. You can see it's just fallen right over, and it's opened up and it's developed this little sucker right here, which if I leave it just in the dirt here where it gets wet, I can get it to go there now. There, I'll put it right there by the hose. It will root itself and continue growing. And then once it's rooted itself, I can actually just cut this off and I'll have a new set of onions. Now, if you're starting to get crazily overrun with Egyptian walking onions, you can pull them up completely. However, if you don't get all the root, they will just continue growing and you'll get more and more. So I've got walking onions in, I think, 3 different spots, and I don't really need them in 3 different spots. When I separated them last year and pulled them out of the barrel where they were at, I wasn't sure how well they would do, so I planted them in a few different spots. And as you can see, they are doing quite well. So Yeah, that's my tip on Egyptian walking onions. Here is my beautiful sage, all aflower, with the bees and everything crawling all over it. Gotta love that. And here is my oregano. Now, this is a widescreen camera. If you know anything about GoPros, you know they're just a big widescreen camera. You can see it looks almost like something's been sitting in the middle there, and you can see how long these oregano branches are. Now, normally I would have already harvested them, but I decided to go ahead and let them flower just to give the bees something. And you can see here my lamb's ear is also going to flower any day now. This has the prettiest pinky purple flowers on it. Oh, and let me show you something I'm super excited about. On my blueberries, look at this. I got flowers. I got flowers on my little baby blueberry bushes. So that is super exciting. On one of them anyway. I think I saw a few over here too, yeah. So might actually get a couple of blueberries this year. Woohoo! My chamomile is flowering like crazy. Time to come out and pull some of these flowers. Get them starting to dry. And let's see if I can zoom in on that little ladybug there. 7th seed, my cucumbers. They got a little sunburnt the first couple of days, as did this poor marigold. I don't know if the marigold's gonna survive. The cucumbers look like they'll be okay. Give them another couple days to acclimate, and then they'll go in the ground. Yeah, and there's my celery. Time for it to go in the ground too. It's actually time for everything to go in the ground. It's the end of May. I guess it's the 28th of May today. And it is our first warm, summery day. It's hitting 80 degrees out here today. Tomorrow we're supposed to be back down in the 60s and more clouds. But for today, this is what we're looking at. And yeah, so I am out here in the garden. There's today's chamomile harvest. Plenty in there for several cups of tea. And then you can see these are still covered in buds. That'll be ready in another day or two, and I'll be able to come out and pick them. So, yeah, ever-bearing chamomile. Gotta love that. I'm done working out here, so let me show you what I accomplished today. So I got one of my celeries planted, so I decided that I was going to put my peppers in my hidden beds, or in my enclosed beds, and go ahead and plant my celery in the pots instead of the other way around. So I've got 3 peppers in there. I'm going to put a cucumber back there. And you can see I've got some space back there. So I'm going to put my other cucumber that I've got started back there. That's my 7th seed, is my cucumber. And then you can see my tomatoes are all bushy. I actually trimmed the other one back, but they've got flowers on them. I need to come and thin this one out a little bit because you need airflow. And I am lacking some airflow in there. Now look, you can see, like, I did plant some basil in here just today. I just seeded it today. But in a week or so, this is going to have a bunch of basil in it. You can see I've got another little tomato sprouting up here from the roots that I laid. This is where they're laying, and then they lay all the way down along here. Same on the other side, but I'm not seeing another tomato come up. But again, this has flowers on it. I know it looks short, but it is all root, I tell you what. Hopefully it ends up not being all root and no fruit. We'll see how the burying the roots works on, I think this is a bush tomato, so. Anyway, here are my beans. They look like they're lacking some nitrogen. I think I've got some worm castings and or some nitrogen to throw in here. Maybe tomorrow. I'm exhausted for today. And there's my third tomato for my survival seeds. And let's see, what other survival seeds? I showed you the oregano already. Here's my lemon balm. I just watered it, so it's looking a little bit droopy, but it is doing fine. It'll be ready for another cut fairly soon. Speaking of survival, I tell you what, potatoes are persistent. Now, I have pulled the garlic out of this jug, and I was going to pull all the soil out and amend it with a bunch of stuff before putting it back into something, but look, I've got potatoes growing. Oh well. Oh, and look, I have a sad too. One of my pumpkins did not make it through the transplant process. The other one over here is doing just fine. So I'm going to bring a seed out here tomorrow and throw it in there. And we'll see what we get. I pulled my first few peas off of here. And as you can see, I've got a bunch more walking onions. This is one of the other beds of walking onions that I had. This isn't a walking onion, I don't think. But these all are. And they need to come out. These are actually some bunching onions. These ones here. Ew, they got that on them. And you come out here and spray those. Yuck, they got that slug juice or slime juice, whatever it is. But you can see again, these are the Egyptian walking onions. Putting out these 4 heads at a time, or 2 in that case. Yeah. Asparagus is still producing. I got a couple in there that I need to come in and pop down. And I went ahead and threw my other peppers in here. I only had the 6 peppers. 3 of them are hot and 3 of them are banana pepper. Or no, not hot, sweet. 3 of them are sweet bell peppers, my survival seed peppers, and the other 3 are banana peppers. So I don't know which one is which. I lost all the labels to them. I am going to let my strawberries spread out underneath these, and I did actually throw another cucumber seed right down in there to see if I can get some more cucumber. I want to make relish this year. Got some strawberries, picked the first ones just the other day. I'm going to give this beauty one more day at least. They're just not quite there. But I tell you what, having this little plastic snake in here has made a huge difference. Before I put this out here, I used to come out here and there'd be little bite marks out of my strawberries. So I don't get that anymore in my strawberries. And so far, I'm able to let them ripen right out here. So that's always fabulous. They don't make it far from the bed. Oh, I just spotted this little baby right here. Oh, it's not quite ready. I have 2 different kinds of strawberries in here. Some that are great big and some that are teeny tiny. And the teeny tiny ones, I tell you what, they're so, so sweet. Anyway. I think that's about it for my survival seeds. What else do we got going on? Beets. I'm not growing beets until the fall because they'll do better here, apparently, in the fall. So we'll see. I don't have much luck with them in the summer. But I guess that's it. It's my beautiful garden. Gosh, it's hard to believe that when we first moved in here, there was really nothing here. A few misplaced bushes. No fence, no nothing. So it's much nicer now. And that is my garden for the end of May 2025 and my survival seeds update. Most everything is doing okay for my survival seeds. I did lose that one pumpkin, which made me sad. But everything else I think is doing well. I'm interested in my tomatoes. I'm wondering if I may have buried the roots too deep, if there is such a thing with tomatoes. I kind of forgot the fact that these Roma type tomatoes are they're a determinate tomato, which means they only grow to a certain size. So I hope I didn't bury too much of it where I'm not going to get any fruit out of it. We shall see. We shall see. And yeah, happy I got my pumpkins, yeah, and my peppers into the ground. Still letting my cucumbers sit in the shady part of the yard before I move them out to their permanent homes in the warmer, more sunshiny places. And my herbs are doing good. My oregano, of course, like you saw, it's going crazy and huge. It's so heavy, that's why it's falling over in the middle, is because those branches are so long and heavy. I should have picked one up so you can see them. They're like a good 2 feet long. And I could, if I were harvesting them, I would. And when after they flowered, I will just cut it all way back. I'm sure there's other growth. It's crazy how well it grows as a perennial in at least my zone, which is 8B. I don't know how many zones down it is a perennial, but I have so much. I already have a half-gallon jar full of dried oregano, and I was going to make some more oregano oil, but something else they won't pack and take across the border for me are liquids. So I gotta like eat up all the soups that I've made and yeah, all that. Well, maybe I'll freeze dry some of them and try that because I bet you they'll move the freeze dry stuff because no liquid is what the estimator said. Anyway, that's enough about that for now. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me today. I do appreciate every single moment that you come and hang out with me. And I apologize for babbling. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate that more than you'll ever know. And I'm going to wish you a good day, tell you to take good care of yourself, and say goodbye for now.